It's midday. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Citi Prime News, which is live from our studios at number 11 Dr. Morton Loop in Adabaka, Accra. It's also live on all our partner stations across the country. In the Western region, we're on Premier 100.5 FM and Beach 105.5 FM, all in Takrady. In the Bono region, you're listening to us on Greener FM 95.9 FM in Sunyani. In the Ashanti region, we're on Orange FM 107.9 in Kumasi. In the Volta region, we're on Global 105.1 FM in Ho and Adanu 107.7 FM in Adakluwaya. In the northern region, we're on Diamond 93.7 FM in Tamale. In the Upper West, we're on Westlink 88.1 FM in Laura. In the Upper East, we are on Source 100.1 FM in Boko. And in the Northeast region, we are on SCAP 101.3 FM in Nangpanduri. The news is also live across the globe on CitiNewsroom.com. My name is Wilma Obobi Sakoman, and this afternoon I'm here with
Charles Owusukumi.
Coming up in the bulletin, Minister for Trade and Industry Alan Kyerematen resigns from his position. Also coming up, National Democratic Congress sets May 6 to elect flag bearer to lead the party in the 2024 general elections. Still ahead, security analyst attributes what he describes as increasing levels of indiscipline among Ghana's security agencies to over-politicization.
Unfortunately, because of a lack of professionalism and politicization of our security institutions, that discipline has vanished within our security agencies.
And later, Right to Information Commission finds Keta Municipal Assembly an amount of 60,000 Ghana cedis for denying one of its members information and failing to answer to queries from the commission.
I've now imposed an administrative penalty of 20,000 Ghana cedis per each application. The totaling is now 60,000 Ghana cedis.
Stay tuned as we bring you details of all that and more on the Citi Prime News.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Many thanks for your time. We'll settle for the details of our stories now. Now, the Minister for Trade and Industry, Alan John Kwadwo Kyerematen, has resigned from his position. Sources close to the minister confirmed that the minister tendered his resignation letter to President Akufo-Addo yesterday, although it is unclear why the minister resigned after serving in the portfolio since 2017. It is believed he took the decision to enable him properly focus on his presidential ambition. We're joined in studio by our presidential correspondent, Sami Yafe, to give us details of this development. Good afternoon, Sami. Many thanks for joining us this afternoon. Now, has the president has he made any comment about this resignation?
Thank you very much, Omar. The president is here to comment on this particular development, and an official communication is yet to emerge from the Jubilee House. But I can confirm to you that the president has received Mr. Alan Kyerematen's resignation letter. He tendered in the letter last night after a lengthy conversation with the president. Already, the conversation of a possible resignation of Alan Kyerematen began somewhere last week when he had made intentions to the president that he wishes to leave the government so he can concentrate on his presidential ambition. As you're aware, the MPP will elect a new presidential candidate later part of this year who will lead the party to the 2024 election. Mr. Alan Kyerematen is tipped to be one of the favorites who will get the nod from Nana Akufo-Addo to lead the party. So the conversation of his possible resignation had come up somewhere last week where he had a conversation with Mr. President. Mr. President asked him to hold on for a while so that he put certain things in order. But last night, after a marathon meeting, the president finally accepted Mr. Kyerematen's letter. And so as we speak, the Jubilee House is aware of the minister's resignation. The president is officially here to communicate on this particular issue. But the resignation from position of Mr. Alan Kyerematen, this is not the first time. Remember in 2007, when he made his first presidential ambition, he was the same trade minister under former President Kufuor. He was part of the 17 aspirants who wanted to take over from former President Kufuor. He was part of the 11 cabinet ministers who resigned, including current President Akufo-Addo, who left their respective portfolios to run for the presidential primaries of the MPP into the 2008 election. He lost in that particular bid to the current president, then candidate Akufo-Addo, the famous MPP primaries held in Legon, the University of Legon, in December 2007. Some years down the line, Mr. Lanchemantin is reported to have resigned from the MPP, and the reasons were that his supporters, or the people who backed him into the 2007 primaries, were being intimidated in the party, and so he felt it was the need for him to resign from the party. His supporters and Mr. Chemati himself have on several occasions denied this particular allegation that indeed he resigned from the MPP during that particular time. So his main ambition now, his main focus now is to lead the MPP into the 2024 election, where he is tipped to be one of the favorite. But then this particular resignation also comes on the back of a possible reshuffle that the president will later this month announce, where the information I'm picking up is that some key ministries will be merged, some key sector ministers will also leave their various portfolios, and Mr. Lanchemantin's portfolio is one that is key to this government. So in order not to be a disruption to this government, he decided to leave the scene, concentrate on his presidential ambition, and leave the government. Already, Mr. Chemanti has made it clearly known that he will want to lead the MPP into the 2024 election. This journey started in 2007. He lost to then candidate Akufo-Addo. In 2010, he made another attempt. He lost to the same candidate Akufo-Addo. In 2014, he made another attempt. He lost to candidate Akufo-Addo again. That ushered in the current president into the 2016 election, where the MPP won convincingly. And so he's not new to presidential ambition. And if he's able to go through successfully, this will be his fourth attempt of leading the MPP into a major election after 3 unsuccessful attempts, Omar.
Now, we know that this has come out. Have we heard from Alan himself on this?
Alan is yet to speak on this particular matter, but people close to him have confirmed this particular news to us. We are picking information that later this afternoon, Mr. Chemati himself will address a press conference where he will give details about this particular resignation, his next move, his political future as far as the MPP primaries and the rest are concerned. You know, Mr. Chemati is the only person who has declared his ambition to lead the MPP. We know the vice president is seen as someone who also want to lead the MPP. The current agric minister has also made that intention known. Former Attorney General Joe Garte is also in the news there. Former Member of Parliament for the Mampong constituency, Honorable Adainimo, has also not hidden his ambition to lead the MPP. And so this will not be Mr. Lanchemantin's the only person who wants to lead the MPP in the 2024 elections. You're aware the current president is not seeking re-election, and so as they say, the floodgates will be open for anybody who wishes to lead the MPP. And the Member of Parliament for Ascent, is this Central or North, Honorable Kennedy Japan, has also made his intentions known that he wants to lead the MPP. His billboards are seen all over. And then former press secretary to the president, Kwabena Japan, has also made his intention known that he also wants to lead the MPP. He was one of the 17 aspirants in 2007, so this will not be new to Mr. Kwabena Japan as well.
All right, thank you very much for that. That was our presidential correspondent. Sami. You have been giving us details of the Trades Minister Alan Chemati resigning as from his position.
Now, a former Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayine, has described as unfeasible calls for legislation for a quota to be placed on the government's power to tax the citizenry. This follows a proposal made by private legal practitioner David Ofosu-Dorte, who explained that the move will protect citizens from excess taxation and force the government to cut down on expenditure. Speaking to City News, the Boagatanga East MP says a cap on taxes might affect development in the country.
I think that a limit on how we can be taxed is not it's not feasible in the sense that you have to gauge how much we need to drive the development of the country before you can say that, there has to be a limit on how much taxation, and that is an empirical question. That is something that needs to be done. We need to, gauge the inflows, and as against what is required for purposes of driving the economic development of the country. So it is a very important thing to look at, but we need the evidence before we can take a decision whether or not we should place any limit on how much we are taxed.
Dr. Dominic Ayine is a former Attorney General and the Member of Parliament for Bogatanga East.
Now, the Right to Information Commission has slapped a fine of 60,000 cedis on the Keta Municipal Assembly for denying one of its assembly members information and failing to answer to queries from the commission. According to the assembly member for the Anlo Afiadenigba electoral area, Gilbert Komla-Kekli, he was denied information he requested on 3 separate contracts and committee decisions taken unilaterally without recourse to the General Assembly of the municipality. The assembly member welcomed the decision by the RTI Commission and advised other state agencies to take a cue from it and abide by the laws governing rights to information.
I filed a review on all the 3 applications to the Right to Information Commission in Accra. The commission received my application, acknowledged the receipt of all. Now, the letter wrote to the Keta Municipal Assembly led by Honorable Emmanuel Gamaga to respond to the review filed by me, or just to go ahead to supply the information. The Honorable MC never responded to any of the letters from the Rights to Information Commission. Now, the Rights to Information Commission, having written to the Assembly several times for them to respond and they refused, have not taken their final decision on this matter. And the decision is now that once the Assembly led by the MCE has refused to supply me with the information, it amounts to breach of my constitutional rights under Article 21, Clause 1F. Now, they have now imposed an administrative penalty of 20,000 Ghana cedis per each application. The totaling is now 60,000 Ghana cedis.
How satisfied are you with the Right to Information Commission's decision to slap the Assembly with charges, if I may put it that way?
Keta Municipal Assembly is not the first public institution that this is happening to. Last year, Ghana Police Service, it happened to Ghana Police Service last year when the Right to Information Commission slapped them with 50,000 Ghana cedis for their refusal to release information requested by a journalist. It is my right to have access to information, as I said earlier. Now, I want to commend the Right to Information Commission because over the years, we used to complain that we will not be having access to information held by the various public institutions. So it is good that public institutions respect the constitution of this country. It is good that the public institution respect the rights to information as any other laws in this country.
You heard the assembly member for the Anglo Afiadenigba electoral area, Gilbert Komla-Kekli. Now, attempts to get the assembly's report as of the time of filing this was unsuccessful. Now, a former group chief executive officer of Ghana Oil Company, GOIL, Patrick Akoli, has charged the government to be transparent with its new policy to buy oil products with gold rather than US dollar reserves. Although the government has explained that the decision is meant to tackle dwindling foreign currency reserves coupled with the demand for dollars by oil importers, which is weakening the cedi and increasing cost of living. Describing the move as innovative in an interview with Citi News, Mr. Akoli said the success of the policy depends on the honesty of the government.
It's a very innovative one, because what the government says that we need about 400 million dollars almost every month. You see, in a year, we need so much foreign exchange. So what the government is saying is that if we have gold, and the gold can be exchanged at a given price to get the dollars, and the dollars are dedicated to the downstream oil market, then at least they are sure that prices at that level will be stable. But the whole thing depends on the details. You see, the pricing details, who are the brokers, who are this, who are that. They always say the devil is in the detail.
Patrick Akoli is a Group Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Oil Company, GOIL. This is still the Citi Prime News, live from our studios at Adabaka in Accra. Now, some stories we've been bringing you is that the Minister for Trade and Industry, Alan Cherbating, resigns from his position. And also, the Right to Information Commission fines Keta Municipal Assembly an amount of 60,000 members information and failing to answer queries from the commission. Now, still ahead, some of the stories we'll be bringing you is that the National Democratic Congress is set May 6 to elect flag bearer to lead the party in the 2024 general elections. And also, security analyst has attributed what he describes as an increasing levels of indiscipline among Ghana's security agencies to over politicization. Charles has more stories.
Now to some education news. Some first-year students of the University of Ghana will have to seek accommodation outside the campus as management of the school says its facilities are inadequate. This appeal comes after scores of the first-year students who have challenges with securing accommodation thronged the school yesterday. Citi News' Akosia Oture in the following report interacted with some frustrated students on the matter and who were disappointed with the school authorities.
Every year there is the issue of accommodation here at the University of Ghana as freshers come into the school to get their applications. Now, the problem is that every time the portal is opened, these students are supposed to get onto the portal to get their halls and every other registration done properly before getting into the school proper. But we've seen a number of freshers today come into the University of Ghana to do these registrations and also to get their halls done manually. What are you here to do?
I came to assist my friend to apply to get a hall. He applied and he didn't get a hall, so we're here to work it in person.
Okay, which hall is he going to?
Commonwealth.
Okay, and you applied. Did you visit the portal?
Yes, and yesterday I'm sure it was because of traffic. Many people logged onto the site and they were not able to even open it at all.
This was around what time? Because I understand it was open at 9.
Yes, it was open around 9.
And what time did you get on?
Around 9, we tried logging in, but it didn't open.
Let me engage one. So you are coming into Commonwealth?
Yeah.
I'm sure you must have been frustrated already.
Yeah, because I haven't gotten a hall yet. And I'm coming from Western region too. So when I'm 9th falls, I don't have any place to sleep.
So, and you've been trying this, so that's why you came in today too?
Yeah.
So when you came, have you been attended to?
No.
And no one is saying anything to you?
They are all saying that the rooms are full and other stuff.
So what are you going to do now? What's your next move?
I don't even know. I'm even frustrated.
You were on the portal yesterday?
Yeah.
So what time did you join and what happened?
I joined exactly 9, and when I entered, just like my phone freeze. Oh, I think it's their connection. Yeah. So I didn't get to book a room. Yeah.
Okay. So what about you?
Rexford. The same problem he was having.
Okay, so you were not also able to get a hall?
I want to, yeah.
So what are you going to do right now?
Now we are stranded. We are moving from halls to halls. Everywhere is full and we don't know what to do.
All right, so I'll also engage one of the freshers who is seated here right in front of the Commonwealth Hall. Can you tell us why he's here?
I had Commonwealth Hall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You had it?
Yeah, so I'm now coming to apply for it.
Oh, okay. So if you had it, why do you need to apply again?
Oh, no, I just came here to pay some few things and the dues and whatever so that I can get to the room.
Okay, so since you got the hall, it means that you were very quick to get onto the...
I was very quick, yeah.
At what time did you log?
Around Exactly 9 a.m.
9 a.m.
Yeah.
Wow. I see. That's some James Bond timing, you know.
You say what?
That's some James Bond timing because to get on exactly at 9 and then
I was very lucky because if you had a problem logging into the portal bar, with God, all things are possible. So I was very quick and had it.
parents of these wards who have come all the way from other regions just to get the halls have also been frustrated. So these are the frustrations of these freshmen who are trooping into the University of Ghana to have their registration for accommodation done manually here on campus. We'll speak to the Pro-Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor Gordon Awandare, who would give us answers to some critical questions we've been asking.
Well, it's mathematics, it's numbers, you know. It's almost like you are balloting. It's like a lottery, you understand? Because think about it. So yesterday, we probably had about 16,000 or a little less students trying to get about 1,500 beds that were made available for first years.
Oh, it was opened yesterday?
Yes, it was open yesterday at 9 o'clock, but within 6 minutes, all the beds were gone. Because it just takes a click. Every click is one bed gone, you understand? And if you have 16,000 students all trying to get a bed, it only takes a few seconds for all the beds to be gone because everybody who gets through, one bed is gone. And it doesn't take long for the 1,500 beds to go because it's electronic. It's a split-second thing. So there's no magic here. It is shortage of beds. That's the reality.
Is there anything like protocols going on here?
Well, so what happens is that normally the halls reserve some rooms to give to their athletes. You know, they try to, some give student athletes, in order to attract student athletes, they give some of them accommodation. They give students with special needs, so, you know, people with visual impairment or any physical disability, they prioritize them to give them spaces.
Professor Gordon Awandare has also been telling us that despite the challenges that is with regards to the portal registration, frantic efforts are being made to address the issue.
So there are many initiatives that we've started in order to address this challenge. But as you know, it's going to take time for this to materialize. You know, you can't build a hostel in 1 year. So, you know, there are several new hostel projects that are just starting. So the buildings are about to start. So it's going to take a couple of years for them to be ready. We have one uncompleted hostel, which we are working to finish. Hopefully, by next academic year, that should bring in about 800 to 1,000 more beds for students. And we are also leasing our lands to private investors to build hostels on campus. We just want to assure them that we understand the frustrations. Yesterday, I had calls from all over of, you know, different parents and students, and some lining up in my office. And it's really sad that we cannot be of better assistance to them at this time.
So freshmen coming into the University of Ghana have from now to Sunday to complete all registering processes. With all these registration frustration that is ongoing, the university management is assuring of addressing all matters amicably. Reporting for Citi News, Akosia Otre.
And in studio, I'm Wilma Obo-Pisakoma with Charles Owusu Kumi. Still ahead in the bulletin, National Democratic Congress sets May 6 to elect flag bearer to lead the party in the 2024 general elections. Do stay with us. We have details shortly.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Now, the National Democratic Congress has released its timetable for presidential and parliamentary primaries. The party set Saturday, May 6, 2023, to hold the elections. The party's Functional and National Executive Committee, NEC, after a meeting held yesterday, also indicated that both presidential and parliamentary primaries will take place concurrently. The opening of nominees has been scheduled for Monday, 22nd and 24th of February 2023. 2023. We are joined in studio by my colleague Fred Jabano, to give us details of this. Good afternoon, Fred. What more can you tell us?
Good afternoon, Roma. You'd recall you'd mentioned that the party yesterday held a meeting. The functional executive of the party and the National Executive Council of the party yesterday met. There was about 3 or 4 hours of meeting where they came out with this particular conclusion. For the first time, we are going to have the presidential primaries of the NDC and the parliamentary primaries held at the same time. Per their schedule, this is what is going to take place. The party would open nominations for all aspirants, all people who are interested in contesting either the presidential primaries or the parliamentary primaries, to pick their nominations from Monday, 22nd February to 24th February 2023. After this, there will be the submission of the forms they filed. They picked up. The submission would take place from Monday, 20th to 22nd March 2023. So there's a 1-month period between the picking of the file of the forms and the filing of the forms. Then after, there would be vetting. The vetting would also take place from Monday, 27th March to 29th March 2023. If there are any concerns, usually after these vetting processes, people have concerns, people have issues. The party has set aside an appeals committee. The appeals committee will start hearing appeals from the 30th of March to the 6th of April 2023. And elections will take place on Saturday, 6th May 2023. So from the NDC, this is their schedule for their elections, the presidential primaries and the parliamentary primaries towards the 2024 general elections.
Thank you very much for that update. That was my colleague Fred Jabano giving us details of the NDC's parliamentary and presidential congress coming up on May 6th. Charles has more stories.
Now, the political science lecturer at the University of Ghana, Dr. Abdul Jalilu Atiku, has called on the Electoral Commission to further engage Parliament on the activities of the Commission to be able to court the support of the House as it prepares for the 2024 general elections. The Electoral Commission is expecting Parliament to pass a constitutional instrument that will mandate the Commission to embark on a voters' registration exercise using the Ghana card as the sole identity document. This strategy by the EC has not been well received by some members of Parliament, especially those on the minority side, raising concerns about the ability of the Commission to effectively implement the strategy. In an interview with Citi News, Dr. Atiku expressed concern about the situation and encouraged the Electoral Commission to amicably settle the issues with Parliament.
People are ready to have the Ghana card, but they are facing the problem. They are facing a number of challenges. These challenges need to be addressed. When they are addressed, then we can then move ahead. So if Parliament is asking the EC to come for further engagement, I think that the EC must take that seriously, go and engage Parliament so that they will iron those issues. So I think that it's better for all of them to agree on some common ground. How are we going to ensure? Because Parliament is they have oversight responsibility, right? They are aware that there's a possibility of some people being disenfranchised if it is allowed to go, and that is why they want to engage the Electoral Commission. And the Electoral Commission must accept this, go and engage with Parliament, so that they will see how they will be able to iron out this, so that we will have credible voters register, and also ensuring that people are not disenfranchised.
Dr. Atiku further urged the Commission to create a trustworthy relationship with political parties as it embarks on its program for the year 2023.
I think that the EC should try as much as possible to ensure that they will have harmonious relationship with all political parties, right? The normal conflict here and there, to the extent that sometimes we find some political parties say that they will not go to the IPAC meeting, they will not do this, all because of maybe certain positions of the EC and certain maneuverings. I think that they need to cut on some of those things and ensuring that they will have the political parties, the other stakeholders being part of the process. This is democratic governance, being part of the process. So that when we have this, they agree on certain issues, then they move ahead, right? So they should, even though we do know that it is the issue that has the mandate to do so many things, but we're talking about governance, right? So you ensure that you bring every person on board. You iron out the issues, the differences, and all that. Get all political parties to be part of IPAC activities and all that.
You heard the voice of Dr. Abdul Jalilu Atiku, a political science lecturer at the University of Ghana.
I'll bring you some security stories. Now, the police in the Volta region are on a manhunt for unknown gunmen who shot a 24-year-old hairdressing apprentice in the thigh at Ho. The victim, Benedicta Sehonam Duhe, was returning home after work on December 30, 2022, when she met the unknown gunmen some few meters from her house. Her phone and other belongings were snatched. Speaking to Citi News, Assembly member for the Domi-Wusu electoral area, Anthony Bruce, says the victim is currently receiving treatment at the Ho Teaching Hospital.
There was an incident that occurred last year, 30th of December, around 9:30, in the evening. There was an attack, a robbery attack, on just after the Kyolepes village, and the lady was shot by the criminals on her thigh. So my attention had been drawn, so I organized my guys and we went there. Lo and behold, she was shot on her thigh. So we quickly sent her to the regional hospital for attention to be given to her. So as I'm speaking to you now, she's on admission, and they are trying our best. The bullet can be retrieved from her thigh. The issue has been lodged at the Central Police Station. So I may say investigation is underway.
That was Assembly member for Dom-Wusu electoral area in the Volta region, Anthony Bruce.
Still on security, personnel of the Ghana Police Service have returned to the Nkranza South municipality after months without any officer manning the area. The personnel were withdrawn in May 2022 to ensure their safety after youth of the area attacked the Nkranza Divisional Police and District Headquarters to protest the death of one of their colleagues, Albert Donko. The youth alleged that Albert Donko was killed by some police officers who picked him from his home into a private vehicle after the deceased raised alarm that he had seen an officer involved in a robbery operation. The police service insisted that the deceased was an armed robbery suspect who was killed in an anti-robbery operation. Updating Citi News on the matter, the Municipal Chief Executive of Nkranza South, Daniel Uruedu, said the gradual return of police personnel to the area is good news, as general security in the area will be catered for.
The
had an information from very reliable source, and then they reacted to it and intercepted a van carrying Indian hemp. Then through interrogation, we got to know that there was another bigger truck which was carrying some of the substances. They followed up and realized that the bigger truck had even broken down on the way, and they had transferred most of the products to what would they call a warehouse, but it was just some house to hide it from the security services. We were able to retrieve it, and they brought all to, one of our substations. The driver of the van, the original van, was arrested, and we handed over to the police to continue the investigations. So we are now in the process of even handing over the whole thing to the Narcotic Control Board. We are a front line. So when we get it for deeper investigations, we hand over to the appropriate bodies to continue the investigation while we continue with the vigilance.
We heard Acting Commissioner of the Customs Division of GRA, Alhaji Idrisu Idisa Seidu.
Now, the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana, CETAG, has resumed a strike today, January 6, 2023. It would be recalled that CETAG in November embarked on an industrial action over the conditions of service. CETAG, in its statement released on January 5, 2023, indicated that the Ministry of Finance and the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission have not shown any commitment in addressing their concerns after a series of engagements. The acting National Secretary of the Colleges of Education Teachers Association, Thomas Ampuma, said in an interview with Citi News that the resumption will go ahead despite schools being on vacation. This is still the Citi Prime News, live from our studios at Adabraka in Accra. Now, some stories we have been bringing your way is that the Minister for Trade and Industry, Alan Chematin, resigns from his position. Also, we said the National Democratic Congress has set May 6 to elect flag bearer to lead the party in the 2024 general elections. Also, security analyst has attributed what he describes as increasing levels of indiscipline among Ghana's security agencies to over-politicization. And also, the Right to Information Commission fines Keta Municipal Assembly an amount of 60,000 cedis for denying one of its members information and failing to answer to queries from the commission. We are also live on all our affiliate stations. You are listening to us in the Western region. We are on Premier 100.5 FM and Beach 105.5 FM, all in Takoradi. In the Bono region, we're on Greener FM 95.9 in Sunyani. In the Ashanti region, you're hearing us on Orange FM 107.9 in Kumasi. In the Volta region, we are on Global 105.1 in Ho, and then also on Adanu 107.7 FM in Adaklu, Waya. Charles has more stories.
Now, one person has been arrested and two others are on the run after they were accused of illegally connecting power to their homes. The Electricity Company of Ghana yesterday embarked on a monitoring exercise within the Krobo enclave to fish out persons engaged in power theft. Tema Regional Head of Communications for the ECG, Setua Mensah, tells Citi News some 200 fake meters have been confiscated.
We discovered 20 fake meters in use. All the fake meters have been confiscated by ECG. We also discovered 2 illegally transferred meters, which have also been confiscated by ECG. We also realized 3 meter bypass. For these 3, one woman, one customer was available, hence she was arrested for the offense of bypassing the meter. The 2 others were not available. However, the police left a message for them to report to the police as soon as possible.
Setua Mensah is the head of communications at the Tema region of the ECG.
Now back to the Colleges of Education Teachers Association. It says they have resumed work today, January 6th, 2023. And it will be recalled that they went on a strike in November over conditions of service. We have the voice of the National Secretary, Thomas Ampuma. Let's take a listen.
Yes, Colleges of Education affiliated to University of Cape Coast are open on the Monday, January 2023. Already affiliated colleges to University of Education have opened, the students are in section. The College of Education in Accra, Legon, those affiliated to Legon, they were able to complete their academic calendar. So they are to that the Minister of Education pleaded or sent an appeal to CITA to suspend while we give him 2 weeks to resolve the outstanding issues. In other fact, the 2 weeks has ended. This week marks the 3rd week. We had a meeting on Wednesday. The minister did say wages, and all that they told us was that they are yet to resolve the issues, so we should give them more time. In other fact, members were not pleased because on the 21st of December, we met them where we all agreed that the matters that are remaining, they need to get financial mandate from Minister of Finance. So they will do it within the 2 weeks and give us the feedback. Fortunately, when we had a meeting on Wednesday, they told us that they have not been able to do that. We should give them more time to be able to do that with the Finance Ministry. And they said they will do that by the end of the day and give us the feedback.
Thomas Ampuma is the acting National Secretary of the Colleges of Education Teachers Association Ghana. And that's how we answer to news, Prime News at 12, which has been live from our studios at Adabraka in Accra. For more news, you can log on to our website, citynewsroom.com. I am Wilma Obubi-Sakoman, and this afternoon I was here with
Charles Osukumi.
Many thanks for listening to us. Up next is the City Business News with Michael Obudu. Many thanks.
City 97.3.